All right, any Teen Wolf fans in the crowd? All right. How about Supergirl, maybe? Huh? Well, we got the Man of Steel himself here. Make some noise for Tyler Hoechlin, everybody.
Hey guys, how's it going, Boston? Good? You're good.
Is this your first time in Boston? No,
This is my third time in Boston, but I feel like until you've like spent 2 or 3 days in a city with like nothing on your agenda, just to be there, you haven't been there yet. So like I'm here, but I haven't been here. But
yeah,
one day I'll.
You've been in here.
Yeah.
So, I mean, let's get the big question out of the way first. The internet is very excited about something coming up called Crisis on Infinite Earths, and apparently you are making a little comeback,
That's what I hear as well. I hear I'm going to be there. I haven't gotten my flight yet, but I've been told to keep those days open.
That is very cool. And looking at the list of people that may or may not be involved in this, that's got to be a cool thing to be a part of something like this. Like it's an event at this point.
Yeah, a big event. I know nothing of the details yet, but obviously, I mean, just the name implies everything you kind of need to know. So it'll be a fun shoot. I'm excited about it. A lot of nights, I imagine. But we all keep each other in good spirits. So.
And another rumor, I don't know if this one's been confirmed or not. I can't even keep track of what's confirmed and what's not at this point, but Brandon Routh, a former Superman, will also be a part of it.
Yes.
Now, going into your role as the character, did you and Brandon know each other? Did you guys talk? Like, did Superman pass on the knowledge to the next Superman?
I haven't had any of the passing of the knowledge or anything like that, but I did run into Brandon. I believe it was at Comic-Con in San Diego. When they announced that I was going to play the character in the first place. So we haven't had too much time to actually hang yet, but I imagine that'll change very soon.
Now, before you took on the role, how do you prepare to play a character like this? It's an iconic character. Is it nerve-wracking? Like what's the process to kind of get into this role?
Weirdly enough, I really truly don't know why this is, but I actually felt more confident, I think, stepping into this role than most roles usually, and I don't know why. I think it's just because the way that it all kind of came to fruition was, having a meeting with Greg Berlanti and talking about the character. I actually went on the meeting, it wasn't specified what it was for. And about 45 minutes into just having a conversation, they brought up the fact that they were going to introduce the character on Supergirl and asked if that was something I'd be interested in talking about. And I said, sure, yeah, that sounds cool. So it was kind of, because it came up so casually and, without like too much build-up, I think, I was able to express what I found interesting about the character. And they seemed to agree with that. And so I think because of that, it was just one of those things where feeling that they felt confident in my idea of what that character, who he is and what he stands for, it just kind of gave me the confidence to step into it and go, look, if people like it, great. If they don't, great. That's not my job to make sure they like it. It's just my job to make sure I'm doing the best I can to, bring out an honest portrayal of that character as we see it. So it was nice, and the show had done a great job, establishing the tone, and so I felt like I really understood where he as a character fit in this world that they had kind of created.
And I gotta ask, the costume, it looks like it would be maybe comfortable because it's got some stretch to it, but I mean honestly, what was it? Let's be real.
It's not that bad.
It's okay.
It's not that bad. It's not that bad. After like hour 8 or 9 in it, it starts to feel a little bit like a corset. So you gotta take a deep breath and actually get the rib cage to actually expand a little bit. But other than that, it's not too bad. Can't complain.
Well, I think you did it well. I don't know if you also know this, but the internet has been talking about who should play Superman in the next film version that we will see, because that's kind of up in the air, I guess, right now. And as of the search I literally did 5 minutes ago in the hallway, you were the top of the list. Did you know that?
I did not know.
Yeah. Fans out there are saying that you should be the next person to take on the role on the big screen.
That's very flattering. Very flattering. I appreciate the support. It's different than the first announcement. First time, who's this guy? What? Why? No. Please God, no. The support has been great. It's been very nice to receive the reception. that the characters had. So, who knows? You never know. You never know what's going to happen in this crazy world.
I think it's more impressive that it went, that full circle of like, who, what, to like, we like him, to we're going to keep him.
Yeah.
That's good.
It's been a nice transition. Yeah, it's a different welcome now.
And looking at some of the, other things you've done, of course, a lot of Teen Wolf fans in the crowd. Wow. Do you find like you have to stay sharp on the stuff you've been on just because the fans are so passionate? Do you revisit your shows a lot and rewatch? And...
We have these conversations all the time. I still, a lot of the cast from Teen Wolf, we're all still really great friends, and we talk, and every once in a while we'll do a convention, like, so how many questions did you get today where you had no idea that had even happened in the show? It's like, it is. Because for us, I mean, a season, let's say a Teen Wolf season is 20 episodes. Some of them were, that doesn't make sense to me, but some of them were 20, some of them were 12, some were 24. I have no idea. But at 20 episodes, you're roughly looking at 20 hours worth of stuff. But for us, that's 9 months. So, remembering 20 hours of something you've seen a couple times is different than, remembering 9 months of shooting, of memorizing scenes that you had to do 10 pages in a day and then doing all that. So some stuff, believe it or not, does get left behind and you forget about it. But no, it's definitely, it's a tall task to keep all of it there, yeah.
And even before, jumping into Teen Wolf, did you know that this would be on the other side of it? That you'd be here and you'd have fans lining up to see you, and it would make that impact?
No. We got laughed out of Comic-Con in San Diego the first time we showed up. Literally had people in the aisle, and because we basically showed like 10 minutes of our kind of like our presentation. It wasn't even a full episode. But we showed like 10 minutes of it, and I remember one of the guys, it was only like critics in the crowd, no fans, because nobody had seen anything. And one guy came up to the mic, he's like, just out of curiosity, why did you have to use the name Teen Wolf and ruin my childhood? And we're like, and I remember he said, he's like, why couldn't you have just called it like teenage werewolves? And I remember somebody backstage afterwards going, because that name sucks, The name's terrible, that's why, and everybody knows Teen Wolf. So yeah, it was definitely a big transition going from that to, we've gone around the world now to do these things, and it's kind of crazy. So, like I said, you never know what's going to happen in this crazy world. So we've gone from please don't do this again, please God no, to we want more. So.
That's amazing. And yeah, there are so many fans of your work, and there's a lot of them here. And I know we have a lot of questions out there, so this is the time. If you have a question for Tyler, we actually have 2 aisle mics. So if you want to start lining up, and we'll get to your questions in just a minute. But before we do, a fun question that may be a bit incriminating if you want to fully confess.
All right.
When you leave a show, that's part of your life for so long. Some actors like to take a little souvenir with them.
Yeah.
Are you that type of person? Did you take something?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Well.
Yeah.
Feel free to divulge at this point.
I mean, I think the best piece I took was like Derek's jacket from season 1, which I think he wore in every episode. So I have that. I've got some of the teeth. I've got some of the prosthetics. Yeah, I took it all. I took everything. Anything associated with Derek, it's at my house. Yeah.
On the Supergirl front, and I mean, I'm sure that's a little tight, right? Is that probably tough to get that off the
security
set?
There's a little tighter. Yeah. They don't let those suits go too far. Yeah. Someday.
Not a cape that you wear at home? No, nothing.
No chance. I would fear for my life.
He's like winking. He's like, I totally have a cape.
But seriously.
All right, let's get to the audience. Go ahead, sir. What is your question?
Hey, Tyler, how you doing?
Good, man. How you doing?
Good. I just wanted to know, they left Teen Wolf open at the end of the last season. I was just wondering, is that coming back? Are you going to play Derek again? And what's the transition between playing a Teen Wolf compared to Superman?
Would you guys watch more Derek? I know nothing of that sort, so I have no idea. But I guess they did leave it kind of open. So I'm like, I guess it's nicer they did that than kill everybody and completely leave the door closed. So who knows? But the transition from that, you know what? It's I enjoyed playing Derek when I did. I really enjoyed the arc. I really like where he ended up. at the end of that show. To me, that was a great little thing, and actually kind of a lesson I needed to almost learn in a way, so that was kind of cool. But with going into Clark Kent and Superman, it's two very different things. It was really kind of picking up where Derek left off, but even years later. The version that we have of Clark and Superman is someone who's been doing this for a while and is really kind of comfortable and settled with who he is and what his purpose is. And so that was a different kind of place in life, a different phase of life to step into. So I enjoyed that, and I enjoyed playing somebody who was smiling a little more often and slightly more optimistic about the world. Yeah.
Thank you.
Cool. Thanks so much, man. All right, let's go over to this side. Over to you.
Hello.
Hello. It's a great outfit.
Thank you. My mask is over in the seat because I can't see in it.
There you go.
So in the second part of season 3 of Teen Wolf, so obviously Styles.
3B. The second part of season 3.
Yes.
3B. Okay.
So the part where Styles is obviously the comic relief of the show, and in that we don't see that because he's taken over by the Nigitsune or Void, and so it's the show gets this whole other tone and undertone of dark and almost sinister and kind of sad too. Was it like that on set too, or is it just kind of business as usual?
I never noticed Dylan being funny ever, so nothing changed. It's all the same to me. I was like, they said he's different this year. I was like, really? Haven't noticed. No, I think definitely when you're doing those scenes, you're not infusing the scene with that same humor. So naturally it feels a little bit different because you do notice that energy missing. But we always had a great time, offset in between takes and setups and stuff like that. So Dylan's got a great energy about him no matter what's going on. And so it was a different feeling, but I didn't really notice the set going dark at all. We had some pretty dark stuff otherwise anyway. If I wasn't working with Dylan, it was all still pretty dark. So Derek was very dark for a while. But it was fun. I thought Dylan did a great job that season. I thought he did really good.
All right, thank you.
Awesome. Thanks so much. All right, back to this side. Go ahead. What's your question?
Hi.
Hello.
I'm a big fan of a little movie you did called Undrafted, and I was wondering if you could talk about your experience on that.
That was a special one. That was one of those movies, didn't have a lot of money, and so everybody was there just because they wanted to be there. And it was a great group of guys. Still stay in touch with a lot of those guys as well. Joe Mazzello is a very, very good friend of mine, and very much looking forward to working with him on other stuff in the future. We're actively trying to figure out what that is. And it was just it was a special experience. Having played baseball in my previous life, it was kind of cool to go back to that environment and just be in a true massive ensemble where everybody is on set every single day from the time you start to the time you finish. So it was a cliche, real team effort to get that done. So it was a lot of fun. It was a different experience than I've had on most other shoots.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Cool. Well, speaking of film, you have a project coming up, a little rom-com. The trailer's out. The trailer's out for that. I think it just came out.
It is. It is called Can You Keep a Secret? That is going to be out September 13th. I think I posted it on Twitter. I haven't done the Instagram thing yet. I'll do that today.
Yeah.
Do that at lunch.
Check it out. All right, over to you.
Hi, Tyler. I'm
Hi.
Amanda. What was your favorite thing about playing Derek Hale and your least favorite?
Favorite thing about playing Derek? I like the stunts. Stunts were fun.
Stunts were awesome.
I did gymnastics as a kid, so the whole first season, my goal was to convince the producers that I could do my own stunts. So they would tell me where in the scene to go up to and then stop, and then I would just not stop, and I'd do the stunt anyway and be like, I'm already doing it, you might as well just film it. So eventually I worked my way into it season 2, and then about season 4 is when I went you know what, you can bring the stunt guy in. I don't necessarily want to do that today. So it had a bit of an arc as well. But I love the stunts, that was a lot of fun. But like I said, the character arc was really great. I thought, where he started and where he ended up was really really a long way to go. So to see that progress every season was really fun. I mean, every season they give me something really great and new to play with, which on a TV show is a blessing, because sometimes you get stuck in the same thing over and over again, and they were very kind to give me new things to play with every year.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome, thanks so much. All right, back over here, go ahead.
Hello.
Hello. I'm trying to raise awareness for mental illness, and I have a playlist, and I'm trying to start a nonprofit. And what I do is I've been asking celebrities what songs make them feel better when they're sad and stuff.
Okay.
So to put on the playlist. And so, what kind of songs make you feel better when, you know, if you're down or?
I got one. What would I change it to? But it's an Avicii song, and I forget who it's featuring.
Okay.
But it's the lyrics are phenomenal. It's a really, really great song. So what would I change it to?
Okay.
By Avicii. It's a
awesome.
great.
Thank you.
It's a great one.
Awesome, great question. Thank you so much.
Great question. And thank you for the work. Yeah.
What's your process to get even pumped up on set? Do you have like a playlist? Like, do you listen to music, or what's your, when you roll in, like, what do you do?
Yeah, sometimes. It just depends on the day. I think sometimes I'll listen to music if I feel like that's what I need that day. Other times it's just, doing the work and then just kind of just staying engaged and present with the people that are around you. So yeah, it just varies. It's not kind of on a day-to-day basis. Yeah.
Like a routine. Some people have like a ritual that they have to go through. You're not that kind of person?
No, I think I have different things and just different vibes each day. I think if it's a routine, then you're kind of depending on, getting the same. When I was playing baseball, there's a routine because you're trying to do something and you're trying to repeat an action. And when you're acting, you're trying to just kind of feel something genuine each time. So I feel like too much of a routine, it becomes a little bit, at least for me. I mean, everybody has their thing, but I like to just kind of let things go and try not to have too much control, because other areas of my life, I like to have too much control. That I try to let it go.
Cool, man. Awesome. All right, let's go to you. What's your question?
Hello, Tyler.
Hello again.
I'm a huge fan of Final Fantasy, and I know you're going to be a part of the remake with Cody Christian and Gideon Emery.
Yeah.
My question for you is, how does it feel to be a part of such a another big franchise?
Really humbling. That was like, I remember I auditioned for that, and then it was months and I didn't hear anything. I was like, okay, so I guess that's gone. And then I just got an email, and I couldn't tell from like the subject head that it was anything. And then it was like, oh, by the way, you're doing this thing for Final Fantasy. I was like, oh, that thing from like 6 months ago. Okay, great, that's awesome. So it was really cool, and I know it's a huge property. I know it has a massive fan base. So that's one of those things where you go in. I hope that the fans are happy with it. It's something I've never done before. I've never done voiceover, and so it was a new experience for sure. But I enjoyed it. So hopefully there's more to come.
Well, thank you so much. I know you'll do great. Can't wait to play it.
Well, thank you very much. I hope you enjoy it.
Thank you. Okay, what is your question? Go ahead.
Hi, Tyler. How's it going? First of all, I just want to say I think you do a great job as Superman. You do an awesome job getting his lightheartedness, fun, and noble spirit.
Thank you, man.
So I got a quick question. So Lex Luthor and Superman are a pretty classic villainous hero duo. So I was wondering, in Crisis, do you know whether how or if your Superman is gonna clash with John Cryer's Lex Luthor?
I mean, I'd be surprised if we didn't, but I honestly have no idea. They've told me nothing yet. I know that I'm supposed to be in Vancouver, and that's it. so I'm still very anxious to find out what those are. I don't think the scripts are out yet, so hopefully in the next week or two, I'll start getting a sense of what's going on.
Well, either way, I think you'll do great. Thanks,
you, man.
Tyler.
Appreciate it, brother.
Cool. All right. I'm going to go ahead and say this. Is this a Superman-related question?
It's not.
No. Oh! Curveball on the shirt. Okay.
That's direct.
So, just based on seeing like the bloopers and everything for Teen Wolf, everyone seems like they're wicked close and you're all like really funny. I was just wondering if there's like a prank that either you pulled or someone pulled on you that happened on set that's like, whoa.
We didn't have many like whoa pranks. We just tried to scare the hell out of each other as much as possible. That was it. There's a lot of dark corners on the set and stuff, so a lot of just hiding and popping out. I think that might have been my fault because I started that with me and Posey and Dylan living together. I would just scare them in the morning because I always woke up before them. So that was my way of waking up. It was like I would hear them wake up, I'm like, oh yeah, this is great. So then I'd hear them going into the bathroom, and I'd just go wait outside the bathroom door, and then I would just scream when they came out. And every single time, it didn't matter. They never got used to it. So that then translated onto set, and yeah, we just tried to do that. And we did one other game where if we had like a long night shoot and everybody was falling asleep, we would start this slapping game where you would like run up behind someone, you just like slap the back of their hamstring, and it was just like who could get who. And so everybody, when you're falling asleep, all of a sudden everybody's like, just like constantly watching. So we stayed up, and it was good. It was helpful. It was a group activity. It's good.
Love that. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, go ahead. What's your question?
Hey, in the Elseworlds crossover, were there any cast members that you really liked or really didn't like?
Yeah, let's get into that. Yeah.
You know what? I've been waiting to get this off my chest for a long time. Take a seat. This is gonna take a minute. No, everybody's so much fun out there. Honestly, this last crossover was it's probably like one of the most just like pure like fun experiences I've had shooting in a long time. You know, being with the Flash and with Arrow and with Supergirl, it was really cool. And honestly, those guys are they're great leads of their shows, and it's because they're really good people. So I'm very excited to get back up there and do it again, and hopefully I think for a longer period this time. So
Yeah, thank you.
thank you, man.
That's got to be a cool moment when you get on the set and you see all these other heroes. Did you have a moment even for yourself playing this role that it really sunk in for you that you are now Superman? Did you have that? Was it putting like the suit on the first time, or?
Yeah, kind of like when you put the suit on, and like I remember the first time when I put the suit on, and then we do like the camera test. Like that, you still feel like you're almost like modeling it, but then when people start calling you to set as like, all right, Superman, we're ready for Superman and Supergirl, you're like, that's weird. Or when people like address you as Superman in the scene, you're like, oh yeah. Oh yeah. But I've always said this because to me, it's a weird thing of, you know, what I like about Superman and Clark Kent is that to him, at least for me, with this version, like, to him, he's not Superman. It's the suit he wears and it's the name that other people call him. But it's not, to him, it's not who he is, because I don't think he sees himself that way. I think he just sees himself as someone who does what he can with the opportunities that he's given, and that's it. So I don't think that he thinks that makes him super. I think it's just to him, like, I'm just doing my part. So it's definitely a weird thing where you do have that realization too. I'm like, oh, maybe that's actually something to kind of share with the character. So yeah, it's kind of fun to look at it that way. But yeah, it's weird. It's very surreal.
Well, speaking of the Clark Superman thing, let's be honest. The Clark Kent disguise, the glasses, is ridiculous, right?
It's awesome. It's awesome.
How do they not know? How do they not know?
I would never see it. I would never see it.
Like, where did he go?
It's so obvious that it's not obvious. I think that's the way to go.
I love that. It's been going on for so many years.
If you had like that and a mustache, it'd be too much. You'd be like, I see what you're doing. You're trying too hard, man. You're trying too hard.
Superman's gone.
Yeah.
I love that. All right, do we have a Superman question over here too? Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, let's hear it.
So I'm Daniel. I'm a big fan of Tyler Hoechlin from Teen Wolf. I have a question.
Yes, sir.
In Teen Wolf, what was your favorite villain from the past seasons?
My favorite what?
Your favorite villain from the past seasons, like 1 through 6.
Man, you know what? I feel like I kind of gotta go back to like the first season. Like I loved the original Alpha, which was my uncle Peter Hale. I loved like him and Jill, Kate.
Yeah.
Kind of being the two big bads together. I loved that in season 1.
I know.
That was really fun.
I have another question for Taylor Hoechlin. What would Taylor Hoechlin do in Infinite Earths this year?
In a what?
Infinite Earths this year.
What is he doing in Infinite Earth?
Yeah.
Ooh, I don't know yet.
What do you see yourself on Infinite Earths of Superman?
I mean, I imagine I'll be flying around somewhere and fighting somebody. If I don't, I'm gonna be very disappointed.
Yeah. And I have another question as well.
Okay.
What would you see yourself in 5 years from Superman? And like in Flash, Arrow, Supergirl? What would your life be like in Infinite Earths this year with Flash, Stephen Amell, and Supergirl?
In like 5 years?
Yeah, in 5 years from now.
I imagine I'll have much more gray hair by then. I'll look older and wiser, and hopefully all the better for it.
All right, thank you.
All right, thank you so much.
Buddy.
Awesome. All right, go ahead. What is your question?
For Crisis, the crossover, will you be fighting any other of the Supermans?
Ooh, that's a good question. I don't know. I don't know yet. They keep me in the dark. I think it's because they know I come to these things like, we're not gonna tell this guy anything. He's gonna let it slip. I know it. So I don't know anything yet, but that'd be kind of cool. I mean, we've done that once, kind of. We did that in crossovers a little bit. Got to fight myself. That was a fun day. But yeah, we'll see. That'd be kind of fun.
Start making up ridiculous answers at this point. Just see if the internet picks it up. You're like,
totally.
fighting Batman, punch them in the face.
Run with it. Run with it.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah, why not?
Go ahead.
Hi, Tyler Hoechlin.
Hey, buddy.
For Teen Wolf, what do you do on Teen Wolf for season 6?
Season 6, dude, it was really fun to come back, man. It was really fun to come back and say goodbye. That was a lot of years of my life, so to be able to come back and do those last couple episodes, it was good to see everybody again and work with everybody again, go through those crazy nights again. Yeah, it was a fun way to come back and say goodbye.
Cool.
Thanks, buddy.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Okay, back to this side. Go ahead.
If you could play any villain, who would it be?
Any villain?
Yeah.
Ooh, man. That's a good one.
Real life villain or comic book villain?
Yeah, right? That's a good...
Right? That's a whole nother question.
Yeah, that's a good qualifier. Man, I don't know. You know what? I would love to play a villain. I don't have like a particular one, but my favorite kind of villains are ones that have a point of view that you can kind of understand. So I really like that in a villain where you kind of go, even with I want to say it was Thanos in Avengers. It's like you disagree with what he's saying, but you also understand what he's saying. And so like there's a weird part of you that goes like, okay, morally that's awful. And you shouldn't do that. Logically though, I see your point. I'm not gonna get on board with it, but I understand it. Like those, I like those kind of villains because you at least in some way can kind of go like, I see where they're coming from. And so it's a little bit better than just someone who's like, I'm out to get you. That is, to me, I feel like is, I think that's an old idea that we have of villains. And I think nowadays it's easier to see that, most people who are doing bad things don't think they are doing bad things. Their point of view, their perspective, for whatever reason, is shaped into thinking that that's actually what they should be doing. Otherwise, they wouldn't be doing it. So I like villains that kind of come from that kind of place where you kind of go, I don't agree, but I see why you're doing what you're doing.
I have one more question.
All right.
When would you want to fight any villain?
What's that?
Fight any villain?
Yeah.
You could fight any villain.
If I could fight
in real life or in the superhero world?
If I could fight any villain. I mean, I guess, playing the character I've been playing, like it'd be great to fight Lex. Kind of have to go with that. So since it hasn't happened yet, I'm going to say Lex.
Awesome, man. Thank you so much.
Man.
Thank you. Okay.
Hi. So recently on Netflix, a movie came out that you were in called Then Came You. And I'm going to be honest, it made me cry.
I would have been very disappointed if it didn't. I also would have asked you a lot of questions about yourself.
It made me cry a lot. And I want to know just how was it filming such an emotional movie like that?
It was, I loved that script. I loved that script from the first time I read it, and it was years later that it came back around, and I was so glad that it did. It's such a sweet story, and I wasn't around for most of those scenes, but my very first day of shooting was all the stuff in the hospital. So that was like a nice way to meet everybody, and she's like, "Hi, I'm Tyler. Nice to meet you. Okay, we're doing this scene now. Great. Yeah. Okay. Let me be in an awful place." So it was definitely, that first day was challenging to get all of that out on the first day. But it was such a great story. It was such a sweet story that I was just really happy that we got a chance to do it. And those are projects that, for me, I look at and go, if there's any way I can contribute anything to this, I'm happy to. So I was just very proud to be a part of that one. So I'm glad to hear that it did what it did. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, well, I guess good and bad news. Bad news is we only have time for one more question. But the good news is Tyler's going to be here all weekend. So Hey, right? We got more time with him.
Win some, you lose some.
Yeah. Stop by later today. You got tomorrow. So, all right. There's a positive. But now let's go to the last question. So
Hi.
go ahead.
No pressure.
My name's Becca, longtime fan. I remember when you played Ruthie's boyfriend on Son of Heaven.
Was I ever really her boyfriend, though? Was I ever really her boyfriend?
But back to Superman. So I love Superman for like my entire life. Like I read the comics growing up, and so how much did you research the character in the comics before you acted the role on the set of Supergirl?
Honestly, in the comics, not much. I did all my research as far as like family history and relationships with people and villains and all those things. But for me, it was more of a I watched the entire first season of Supergirl and really just got a feel of like that tone of the show, and kind of I find with characters what I really enjoy is that I think you get to know characters almost better by knowing the people around them than by knowing them. Because if that's true, like you are who you associate with, then if you can kind of see the people who are around them, you can kind of start to piece together how that person might interact with those people and what that might kind of shape them as. So I really enjoyed watching that first season of the show, getting a sense of Kara and the times in which they would talk about Clark, and getting a feel from that, and also just the tone of the show in general. So a lot of that was my thing, and I think I wanted to keep it simple and not overcomplicate it. So once I had a strong basis of how I saw the character and felt comfortable with it, for me I was like, okay, that's enough for now, and if there's things I need to know as we go, I'll make sure I do my research. But for now, I feel like we're at a good place. So that's kind of how I've handled it and how I would like to continue to handle it, just keep it simple. Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, man, I guess we never had the chance to do this before, and coming into it, everyone said you were such a great dude, and I got to say, the rumors are true. You are a gentleman.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Give it up for Tyler Hoechlin, everybody.
Thank you, guys. Good to see y'all.
Hi, this is Aaron Ashmore, and you are watching Fandom Spotlight. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe like now. Oh, and have fun and follow your fandom.